All right. Well, we're going to start what I call our little In the News segment. And several of you have asked me about turmeric. And so I wanted to kind of address turmeric. Typically is what we do before we start adding herbal supplements and things like this. We like to know, what is your baseline? What is your body capable of in your current condition? Turmeric is an excellent anti-inflammatory, antifungal, antibacterial, antiviral herb. It comes from a root that's ground up into a powder, and you can take it straight as a powder. You take 1 tablespoon 3 times a day. It's going to help with the inflammation. It's been shown to be beneficial with blood pressure, diabetes, heart disease, anything that has an inflammatory element. It has been shown to be beneficial. My husband actually takes it as a treatment for his Lyme's disease. So if it's something that you want to take now, you can. You can get it in capsule form. You don't have to take it in powder. You can get it in a capsule. And it's the curcumin that is in the turmeric that is the what it has the healing property. Curcumin.
How do you spell that?
C-U-R. I should write it. Curcumin. C-U-M-I-N. Did I spell that right?
We did have an online participant say that she had a fabulous outcome to her,
good.
And she lowered her blood sugars by 100 points, so it improved significantly. Wow.
Good job.
100. Awesome.
Yes,
Yeah, 100
awesome.
points.
Yeah. You know, the power of the cleanse is revealed in our numbers. Okay. And it's really quite amazing to see the vast difference from what we're typically eating, and then you do the cleanse, which you still get to eat real food. It's just in a very simple fashion, you know. So very interesting. So I wanted to just address the curcumin. If you have questions on that, we can discuss it more. But if you'd like to take that supplement, that's fine with us. We actually even sell it in our store.
Is it as beneficial taking it in the tablet form as it is using it as a spice?
As a spice, you're going to use a very small amount. 1/8 of a teaspoon is going to nicely turn everything yellow.
Yes.
Okay, so you're not going to use a real lot in your cooking. So you're not going to get the anti-inflammatory response that you're looking for to the level that you might be looking for.
Okay.
Just using it as spice. Use it freely, but you're looking at, if you're taking the actual powder, you're looking at needing at least a tablespoon a day to get the benefits that you're wanting.
Okay.
Okay, and you can do as much as 3 tablespoons a day. And therefore we have it in big bags, like a pound size bag. Or it might be 2 pounds, I'm not sure. All right, so here's some other news. It says berry eaters may be at lower risk for diabetes.
Any berries?
Eating berries.
Any kind.
Yes, strawberries, blackberries, blueberries, goji berries. Did I say raspberries? Okay, raspberries. Yes, all the berries. They're wonderful for our health. They're very high in fiber. And so, of course, they're going to help with heart disease, high blood pressure, diabetes, even cancer. So eat your berries every morning that you can afford to do so. All right. Here's another article. It's talking about fiber. So in today's world, it's harder than ever to keep weight under control, as is evidenced by the fact that 2/3 of American adults and 1/3 of children and teens are either overweight or obese. So 1/3 of our society is indeed obese or overweight. It is important to understand that while exercise is certainly part of the formula for success, the food choices you choose to eat are 3 times more important for controlling weight and disease than your exercise. But don't miss the point. Exercise is still important. All right? It's very easy to sabotage yourself with processed foods and sweetened beverages. Many also do not get enough fiber, which research suggests is another key component for effective weight loss. Upping your fiber intake has an appetite suppressant quality. It helps you feel more satisfied. And it helps prevent unhealthy snacking. Also improves metabolic markers such as your blood pressure, cholesterol levels, blood sugar levels. Fiber helps protect your heart and cardiovascular health and appears to reduce mortality of all causes. He goes on to say, keep in mind that all sources of fiber are not created equal. We're going to come back to that, so make a mental note of it. Hang it on a hook in your brain. Fresh, whole fruits and vegetables are among the best sources of fiber. He actually recommends, now take notice to this, this is a large amount of fiber he's recommending. And this is Mercola.com, Dr. Mercola. 50 grams of fiber per 1,000 calories consumed. That's a lot. We don't actually recommend that much. That much is not going to hurt you, but you definitely would be on a whole foods plant-based diet to get in 100 grams of fiber if you were on a 2,000 calorie diet, that is. All right. So among the best of his recommendations for high fiber vegetables are broccoli, Brussels sprout, and cauliflower.
Sawdust doesn't count.
Eating sawdust doesn't count. It needs to have more than just fiber. We're going to get into that a little bit as
Once in a
well.
while I did a little bit of that in woodworking, whether I wanted it or not.
Yeah, exactly. All right, you might be familiar with this. This is Diabetes Forecast. I got this in the mail just yesterday. So read through it and got a few highlights out of it for our meeting today. It says, it's Discovery News and Research is what I'm reading from. After 6 months, those in a group like ours, where eating fruits and vegetables is recommended, found that after 6 months, they were eating less red meat, less salt, and fewer overall calories, and of course, more fruits and vegetables. Interesting note about home cooking. Of course, you probably already know this. Eating out less often may trim your waistline and lower your risk for type 2 diabetes. All right, so eating at home more often, if we turn that around, is going to help weight loss and diabetes. Okay. All right, nearly 1 in 5 American tweens and teens have either diabetes or prediabetes.
Wow.
How many?
Wow.
1 in 5. That's 20%.
Wow.
20% of
Lower
our
than-
teens and tweens.
Well, it's lower than I thought.
It's lower?
Yeah. I thought it was more like about 30%.
Yeah. 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes. But yeah, it's 1 in 5 according to the latest research in Diabetes Forecast. And this is November's 2016 edition.
And this is all from just eating prepackaged foods, fast food stuff, and
And
processed.
leading a sedentary lifestyle and has the
Good
next
old
little
McDonald's.
in
computer
McDonald's.
stuff,
Yeah. So the next little blurb is turn off the TV. Those who have consistently watched more than 14 hours per week of TV, that's 2 hours a day, for most of their life, have much lower bone densities than did those who watched less.
Bone density.
Bone
Oh.
density. Yes. So if you want to increase your bone density, eat beets. We'll show you one of those blurbs. I have a blurb on that. We'll show that to you sometime. All right, here's a,
Sugar beets count
for what?
for beets. Sugar beets are delicious.
Beans.
Oh, beans. I thought you
Beans.
said
Okay.
beans.
Yeah,
I
I'm
did
sorry.
too.
Beans. Let me get my pronunciation correct.
I'm
All
glad I called you on that.
I'm glad you did too. Yes. Beets are good for iron, but yeah. I don't know about building bone. I'm sure it's going to some extent. But
Didn't make sense to
yeah,
me. Yeah.
thanks. All right. What about memory and diabetes? The higher your hemoglobin A1C, the poorer your memory. And it gets to a steeper drop in memory over a 6-year period of which the study covered. You want to improve your overall emotional well-being? Volunteer. Volunteer to help out a person, group, or organization. This will help you feel happier and well-adjusted. Interesting, huh?
I like that.
The Bible tells us that he who gives water to another will himself be watered.
Have you seen the Adventist History movie? It's been
I don't
produced
think
in
so.
Canada. It's been on television. It's a feature-length movie. Well, it's 2 hours long. And it's done by professionals. It's quite accurate.
Okay.
It's not glamorized. Only Ellen White is a very lovely young lady, much prettier than Ellen White was. But other than that, I find nothing wrong with it at all.
Okay. Good. Good. All right. So drink up. Again, we're looking at water. Here's a good reason to drink water. Being dehydrated can increase your odds for obesity. The odds of being obese were 59% higher for inadequate hydrated participants versus the well-hydrated participants. What should you drink in a day? According to this little blurb from the Annals of Family Medicine, July and August 2016, it says men should have at least 3.7 liters of water, and women 2.7 liters of water, and our
How much?
bottles of water here is a half a liter.
This is a half a liter.
Mhm.
This is 20 ounces.
Yeah, so this is a half a liter, our little Sam water bottles.
So I go through about 4 of these a day or 5.
Okay,
4 to 6 of these a day is easy.
How
okay.
much is
So
a
you
gallon?
guys are getting the water that you need. Here was a very interesting article. I'm sorry.
How much is a gallon of water?
How many liters?
Uh-huh.
How about quarts? It'd be 4 liters or 4 quarts.
Okay.
Is that right?
No.
Yeah, Mom asked me today, is a liter more than a gallon? I know a liter is less, but how much is a gallon? Thanks.
Yeah, about 4 liters, give or take a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So this is article. It says Early Does It, and the doctor is Ralph Franzo, and he's redefining diabetes. Okay. He says the development of type 2 diabetes is a gradual process that occurs over years. People with prediabetes have diabetes. They just don't meet the cutoff point set by the ADA yet. That would be American Diabetes Association. An estimated 86 million Americans have prediabetes, according to the CDC, or Center for Disease Control. And he's wanting to just call prediabetes diabetes. Now, that is one opinion, but why would he want to do that? It's because that when you're diagnosed with diabetes, the cutoff is a fasting blood sugar of 126 or 2 random blood sugars of 200. All right? It's at those levels that we start seeing microvascular changes or damage. Okay? So he's actually saying they still have diabetes. They just aren't seeing the complications yet. Okay? And whether you feel the complications or not, once your sugar is over 126 fasting or random sugars of 200, you are actually damaging vessels, the small vessels in your system. So he's trying to get it reevaluated. So just kind of a heads up, probably nothing happens quickly in medical society. So, but yeah, he's trying to push things in that direction. All right. So we're going to be looking at doing some exercise now. If you haven't already turned in your exercise reports, you can turn that in, and we'll get it calculated and give you a report. You can just type it in, what was your total exercise for the week, and we can include it. Now, last week, I forgot to hand out buttons. We have already sent them to our online participants. But these are the buttons that I gave you when you came in. You can wear these each time you come. And if you met the weekly goal, then we will give you one for this week. Now, we're going to give you a little grace the first week. If you didn't meet the goal, that's fine. It takes a while to get into a habit. This week, if you didn't meet the goal for every day, we're still going to give you a little bit of grace, okay? You at least need to try to be increasing from where you were last week, all right? So with that in mind, how many of you met the goal this week?
Every day.
Did you do more this week than you did last week?
No, same.
Same. Okay. We're going to hold the pin until next week. You got a pin coming next week. And we're going to put a dot on the pin. We're supposed to be a star, and I'm sorry I didn't get the stars. There'll be stars next week. We're going to give you a dot if you met the goal and you said yes, right? So you'll get a dot this week. And you met the goal last week too, Paul, right?
Yeah, very easily.
Yes. So we'll make sure both of you have a sticker for your button. And if online participants can again tell us if you met the goal, and if you did, please proudly wear your pin so that we can see that. That'd be nice. All right.
Ask online participants to open up their chat box.
Oh, could our online participants please open up their chat box so that we can communicate with you? Okay. We are now going to do our coconut stretch. Can you guys see my screen? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, good. Let's go ahead and stand up. Let's do our coconut stretch. Oops. I just messed that up. All right.
You go where you
Are we able to do it? All right. You ready? Okay. C, O, C, O, N, U, T. Arms forward. Arms backwards. And squat down. 2, good job. 3, 4, 5. One more. 6. One more than last week. Very good. Very good. Let's do it again. C, O, C, O, N, U, T. Arms forward. Arms backwards. And squats. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Good job. Give yourself a hand and come back to the table. Remember to drink a little water.
I got my heart rate up.
Yeah. There we go. You can do those every single day. It's a good wake up. Wake up exercise. Got to climb the tree to get the coconuts. Well, maybe not exactly. All right, we're going to do a little review. What did we talk about last week? Digestion. That's right. And I think hopefully we all learned something new.
Yeah, a whole lot.
All right, see if you can finish this sentence. We are only as healthy as our gut is healthy.
Mm-hmm. Yay.
Very good. All right, and you have these on your notes from last week. Where does digestion begin? Okay, in the mouth. Yes, the tongue is important. It has the taste buds on it. Yes, and then the chewing.
We don't begin by smelling it?
Well, it certainly can start the salivary glands, doesn't it?
Just thinking about it.
This is true. This is true. Let's see. Pavlov's dog. Remember that in school? Okay, so we're not dogs, we're humans, but still. All right, what are some of the benefits of chewing?
It's pleasurable. You get to taste your food.
Okay, better enjoyment of the food, better taste, better digestion, correct? All right. Any others that you can think of?
You enjoy it more.
Better enjoyment. Okay.
Or
Very good.
absorption of the nutrition.
Better
Absorption, yeah.
It can help fill you up faster. Very good. Is that what you said? Yes.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. So how can chewing longer help you lose weight?
Well, it reduces your desire to eat more. Your body starts to signal itself saying, hey, you don't need so much.
Okay. Good.
You're getting full.
All right. All right. So one, it fills you up more. Like you said, you can reduce the amount of calories because your brain is telling you it takes longer to eat, and so your brain is telling you, yeah, you can quit now. Okay, good. What does snacking do to the digestion process?
Upsets it.
That's a good way of putting it, or confuses it. Upsets or confuses. Very good. All right, so it actually interrupts, right? All right, and so then it has to get to a restarting point when all the food is together, and then digestion can continue on. Okay,
It messes up your whole system.
Indeed it does.
Not just your digestive, but your mental, your physical. That's
Right.
Yep.
Right. It does, from all the what it puts off, the chemicals. All right, so for every vitamin mineral, what is necessary? Every vitamin mineral is dependent upon what for proper digestion and assimilation?
Chart.
That's right. And what did that chart have on it? It had lines from one vitamin to another
All
to
interact
another.
with one another.
That's exactly right. So every vitamin and mineral is dependent upon another vitamin or mineral for proper digestion and assimilation. So just taking supplements is not the best way to get in your calcium or your vitamin Bs or things like this, okay? Getting it from the whole foods is the best way. Now, we're also going to do an email review. However, seeing that none of you received my emails this week, of which I sincerely apologize.
I didn't swear. I didn't get any.
Yeah.
No, I didn't either.
I was communicating with our online participant, and she wrote back, she says, I don't know what you're talking about. And I'm like, well, it's in the emails. What emails? So then everything I send out, I also send to Laura so that we have a record of it. And so I asked her, did you receive any emails? She did not receive any emails. So I resent them all, every single one of them, and they still didn't go.
Sure.
So then we decided to use a different platform. I was using Outlook. I used a different platform, which was Yahoo, and they went. So you should, if you haven't received them still? Did you receive them, online participants?
I hadn't as of this morning.
Yeah, it was about between 11 and 12.
Yes,
and you should
I
have
did come in
received
today.
about
Yes.
7 emails from me because
No, there's only 2. There's only 2 emails.
this is very discouraging.
This is,
This is what I need you to do. You should be receiving an email from me every single day, okay? If you do not receive an email from me, you need to be emailing me. They typically go out between 11 and 12, okay? So I want to know how you're doing. I don't want you just out there floundering around, wondering, what am I supposed to be doing? So they're very helpful, and they're going to cover material that we don't have time to cover in class, okay? So be reading your emails every day, be looking for them so that I know that you're actually getting them or not getting them, okay? I might just have to start sending personal emails. I'm sending them in a group. None of your email are listed. I send them blind copy, but I'm sending them in a group, and maybe that's the problem. I don't know. So, all right. So, because I know that you didn't go through the emails because you didn't receive the emails, we will work on that some more and see if we can't get it accomplished. All right.
One came through.
I'm just going to briefly go over 2 of the emails that are very pertinent to today's presentation. All right. And one is called Superfoods to the Rescue. Okay. We can call it Kickstart Foods to the Rescue. All right. You remember Clark Kent? Who is he?
Superman.
He's Superman, all right? Very mild-mannered, unassuming reporter, right? Who worked on the Daily Planet. Well, Lois Lane looked at him as any other co-worker, right? And she didn't know what we know, that underneath that ordinary exterior, he was Superman. So this is like our fruits, vegetables, beans, and whole grains. We look at them as ordinary common foods, right? They don't look like much to us, but underneath their ordinary exterior, they are superfoods. They come to our rescue in 2 ways. First, they help us with our health, to improve our health. They also help us fight disease, okay? So these foods are superfoods for abundant health because they contain at least 60% water along with the fiber. And fiber and water both do not contain any calories. So the more water and fiber foods you eat, the fewer calories you'll end up consuming. And this makes them naturally low-calorie foods that you can fill your plate with, and you don't have to have skimpy portions. All right? No skimpy portions with the Start a New You program. We want you to be able to fill your plate, eat well, and enjoy it. All right? So the water and fiber, that is what fills your stomach, and so you feel full and you stay full longer. So key number 1 is to start eating these first. Okay? So we don't want any hunger. We don't want any deprivation, okay, or feelings of being deprived. All right? So you eat these first before you eat the other foods. All right? So superfoods might not help you leap tall buildings in a single bound, but you definitely will be lighter on your feet. How's that? All right. So they are loaded with vitamins and minerals, antioxidants, phytochemicals, and of course, water and fiber. And these are what's going to improve your health and help prevent or reverse disease. All right. Now, as we have already said, water is very important, especially when you're trying to increase fiber in your diet, because fiber loves water. So you need to make sure you're at least getting 6 cups of water a day. That's a good start. Better would be 8, and 10 would be even better. Okay? And that is if you're exercising. Okay? 10 with exercise. All right. Now, we're going to talk about fiber quite a bit today. Once man starts fiddling with our food, we can know that it's not going to be the best for us anymore. So once we have refined grains, they lack the fiber, a large percentage of the fiber. And so a lot of these are not going to be our weight loss and disease reversal friends. Okay? All right, so there is an activity for you to do in that email when you actually get to receive that email, which I hope will be very soon, like within the next 24 hours. Okay? So the other thing that I sent out was, what do I eat now? Now that we have finished the cleanse, what do I get to start eating? That's a good question, right? Have you guys been asking that? All right, so this is what we're going to answer today. So here's just a few facts. Throughout our lives, 10 to 20 tons of food will pass through our mouths.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
So part of that will remain in our system and make up our bone and our blood and our brains and our cells and our tissues. And basically we are then in reality what we eat.
Mm-hmm.
So eating is an inescapable act if we desire to live. However, seeing we are in reality what we eat, we must choose the foods we allow to enter our mouth in the most intelligent way possible. In 1980, the local grocery store carried 15,000 food products. Today, the number of food products available is over 50,000 prepackaged, ready-to-eat foods. On the average, 20,000 new packaged foods are introduced each year in the United States.
Wow.
Yes, hi.
Wow.
It's huge, isn't it?
Amazing.
Amazing.
Wow.
All right. So there are so many ready-made packaged products. We must be very smart and intelligent with what we choose to eat to fuel our body. What will give us the best nutrition to sustain a healthy, happy, full of energy life? All right. So we're going to go through a little quiz here. We can call it quiz. It's going to be a review. And now that you have some information, you can answer some of the questions. How much food passes through our mouth in our lifetime? 10 to 20
Amazing.
tons. Correct. 3 and 4 would be the correct answer. Finish this sentence. In reality, we are what? What we eat. It's very true. There's a very cute little cartoon. I actually should have put it in the PowerPoint this time. I think it's a bunny and a dog. And the bunny is telling the dog as he's chomping down into a hamburger, and he says, remember, you are what you eat. And the dog says, I need to eat a skinny person. Okay, little jag. I'll show it to you sometime. All right. In 1980, how many food products were available in the local grocery store?
15,000.
Correct, 15,000. True or false, the number of food products available today in a typical local grocery store is 50,000 prepackaged, ready-to-eat foods.
True.
Mm-hmm.
True.
Wow.
Okay, which of the following categories contain fiber?
First 3.
Okay, verse 3. That is correct. Fruits, vegetables, whole grain. I'm here to tell you there is not any digestible fiber or any fiber at all in meat, including fish, poultry, beef, game, lamb, goat, whatever you'd like. There isn't any fiber. There's not any in dairy, eggs, and of course there's not any in water.
Nuts aren't there.
Nuts do contain, because I didn't fit on the page.
Okay.
It's not an all-inclusive. I don't have beans up there either, or legumes.
Legumes. Oh,
Yes,
no.
they're the king. They're the king of fiber. All right. So just so you know, our goal for Start a New You class is to improve our health habits. Until we do the improving of our health habits, we can't reverse disease. So it's in our next class, Abundant Health Now, with our health habits in place, that then we can focus on actually reversing disease. But we're setting up that process, and it takes time to set up that process. And so that's why we're starting a new you, and that's why we call it that, because we're starting, okay? When we get to the Abundant Health Now, we are actually working. And you'll see disease, as you've already seen, with your blood pressure levels coming down, or blood sugar levels coming down, or your weight, in most cases, coming down. All right. Then you're going to see some improvements in that. But it's going to take longer than 8 weeks to actually reverse disease. And the research shows actually 16 weeks, and that's why we have an 8-week program for Starting a You, and then an 8-week program for Abundant Health Now. Okay? So we want to find out, what can we eat now? We're going to talk about the power of fiber. Maybe your grandma told you to eat your vegetables. Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, well, she was right. She was right. All right, so fruits, vegetables, beans, and the other legumes, whole grains, nuts, and seeds all contain fiber. Anything that grows off a tree, off a plant, contains fiber if it's maintained in its natural state, okay, with all of its, in its completeness. All right? With the exception of nuts and seeds, all these foods, the fruits, vegetables, beans, and other legumes, and whole grains, all tend to be low-calorie foods. Okay? So they're great for diabetes, for heart disease, for high blood pressure, for fatigue, if you're wanting more energy, because the body knows exactly what to do with them. They're high fiber, high water, and so you actually can get some of your necessary hydration from these foods as well. So these foods will help us feel full because they slow down digestion of this, and do not leave the stomach until about 4 hours, as we saw in our digestion presentation last week. And they're packed with everything you need for healing and disease reversal, including your vitamins and your minerals, your phytochemicals, antioxidants, progoitrins, things like this. So they're powerful to heal heart disease, cancer, diabetes, these things. All right, and these are our Kickstart foods. This is what we just had 10 days of eating, for all these foods that are going to help us kickstart into a new us, right? So how can we increase these foods in our diet? Let's find out. From the Annals of Internal Medicine, this is a quote from them: eating 30 to 40 grams of fiber each day can help you lose weight, lower blood pressure, and improve your body's response to insulin just as effectively as a more complicated diet. Now, if you've had diabetes for a long time, then you've probably heard about the exchange system. You've heard about carbohydrate counting. I teach carbohydrate counting. But this program will make things so much easier than even carbohydrate counting, or the 50-50 plate method, which I also utilize. Both of those I find are much easier than the exchange method. If you had high blood pressure, you've probably heard of counting your milligrams of sodium or salt and things like this. Eating more fiber, eating more fruits, vegetables, and whole grains, you're naturally going to have less sodium and a higher level of potassium ratio. And it's potassium levels, the magnesium levels, that are going to help bring down the blood pressure. It's very interesting how God has packaged our food to be just right. And it's not until we mess with it that we get all messed up ourselves.
Yeah.
All right. So in addition to weight control, higher fiber diets can also help to prevent type 2 diabetes and cardiovascular disease. But it is best to get fiber from where? From food, not from what? Supplements. All right. So you guys have seen the fiber supplements where you mix into juice or something like that. Metamucil is one of them. All right. Why this does have some benefit, you will get so much more benefit if you actually have that fiber in the food. Okay. So the Metamucil definitely would help keep you regular, and that's what it's made and created for, is for anti-constipation. You can have that same natural effect by just increasing your fruits and vegetables. If you do have problems with constipation, I can give you more recommendations.
I haven't had any trouble with this thing we've been on. No trouble.
There are definitely foods that do constipate, even in the vegetable categories and grain category. But for the most part, if that's a problem for you, then we can talk about those specifically. I'll just give you a heads up on one, and that is greens. Wonderful, wonderful foods. In fact, you really should try to get greens into your diet every single day, whether it be kale or broccoli or spinach or collards or whatever green is your preference. Having a green, serving of greens every day is going to really cover those vitamin and mineral, the ones that are necessary. So a serving of greens. However, for many people, they do tend to constipate. It's because of the high iron content in them. So the way to deal with that is either to eat a smaller amount or make sure that the rest of your diet has plenty of fiber that's going to help push that through, and plenty, particularly of fruit, which is a higher water content food, which is going to help push everything along as well, and drink plenty of water. Okay, so very, very important. When people follow the recommendations, as Lisa has already testified, the constipation issue will go away.
All right. Any trouble.